Today I have a review of the Nitecore Concept 1 flashlight. This light was provided by the Nitecore store for review, and my opinions have not been influenced by this. I'm a car guy, and I've always loved looking at the new concept cars that are brought out every year. The sad thing is, these cars hardly ever make it to production in their concept form to be driven on the street by you and me. I feel like Nitecore is funneling this by naming this light the Concept 1, but they're actually producing it. It's a sexy, cool light, but it has a little bit of a concept feel to it. Nitecore really stepped up the construction with this light. The fit and the finish are great. It's made of aluminum and the anodizing of it is really smooth. The body tube is as thin as it could be, thinner than most other 18650 lights that I have that are in aluminum. It's not too thin, it's still very strong. The knurling on it is, I think, more for aesthetic purposes than for actual grip. It's a rather smooth knurling. This light is IPX8 rated and drop resistant to 1.5 meters. One thing I did notice here is this button here rattles. That's up by the microphone there. And as you can see underneath, you've got the button, which is actually more towards the middle. Then you have this screw here. The screw just serves as a secondary point. And this top part is metal. I tried tightening the screw, but that didn't work at all. And I contacted Nitecore store, and they said that other samples of theirs rattle. So that just must be how it's designed, and that's kind of unfortunate. The Concept 1 does have a magnetic tail cap here, and you can kind of see the magnet in there. I think if you wanted to remove the magnet, you could take out the spring and then with some type of knife or something like that, get in there and pry that magnet out. It's probably glued or epoxied in though. So the Concept 1 is 4.39 inches long. Its head diameter is 0.96. The tail diameter is 0.94 inches. And the empty weight is 2.18 ounces. And here it is on a dollar bill. You can kind of see how big it is. It's pretty small for its size for being an 18650. To compare it against some other lights, I've got an Olight S2R here. Also magnetic, and then I have an Armitech Wizard Pro, and the Nitecore falls in the middle. The Wizard and the Nitecore Concept 1 are nearly identical in height. So output wise, in turbo it's 1800 lumens for 30 minutes. Now that 30-minute claim is totally heat dependent, and I'll get to this later, but unless this light is in snow or maybe underwater, you're not going to get 30 minutes out of turbo time because it'll overheat and clock down. In high, it's 810 lumens for 90 minutes. Medium is 300 lumens for 4 hours. Low is 80 lumens for 15 hours. And moonlight mode is 1 lumen for 300 hours. This light uses a Cree XHP HD E2 LED in cool white. No neutral white is not offered at this time. I didn't notice any casts of colors. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't notice any casting of colors and thought it was pretty normal. The reflector here, as you can see, is smooth. It's backed by an anti-reflective coated glass lens. The beam has a hot focused center ring and a ring of less intense light followed by the flood of the light. These rings are a little hard to show on video, but they're not super apparent, but they're more apparent at closer ranges. This light surprised me at how well it could throw, and I'll show that in my night shots. Nitecore advertises this light as a no flicker light, and I could not detect it on my camera or by eye. I've got the Nitecore Concept 1 here, and I wanted to show you the UI of this light because it's a little bit confusing until you first understand it. This light has two mode groups, first being general use and the other being tactical. To access those mode groups, you first unscrew the tail cap by a quarter turn, press and hold the button, and then tighten it back up. And you saw there it flashed one time. That means it's in general mode. If you do it again, it will flash twice and you're in tactical mode. So in both modes, this light has direct access to low. To do that with the light off, you double tap this side switch and you can see we are in ultra low. This light has direct access to turbo or strobe depending on which mode you're also in. So in tactical, it does strobe. In general, it does turbo. Right now, I'm in general mode. So if I triple click that switch, you get turbo. So this light has 5 modes, ultra low through turbo. And what it does is it has a memory of those groups. So right now I'm in general mode, and tactical works the same way. You press and hold, and it starts cycling through the 5 different modes of light here, and you can see. So ultra low, low, medium, medium high, and turbo. And you stop on the one you want to use. So that's your memorized mode now. You press and hold the button, turn it off, and that's memorized now. So to turn it on, you press and hold, and you're back to that memorized mode. You can click and hold the button, and you're up to turbo. Again, it's like a momentary turbo. To adjust these modes once you've had a memorized mode, so to basically pick a new memorized mode, you have to shut the light off, you have to press and hold again, and then it starts cycling through those 5 modes again. So say I want the low, that's my memorized mode, shut it off, turn it back on, and that's my memorized mode now. And pressing again gets me to turbo. This light has a manual lockout mode by unscrewing the tail cap a quarter turn. Nitecore recommends this to prevent accidental activation and to prolong the battery life. I measured the parasitic drain at a rough average of 1 milliamp. This light is pretty active when it's not in use, as you can see here in the video. It bounces kind of all around from 1.8 to 0.5 milliamps, and it never stabilized. This is quite a bit higher than I would expect to see out of a modern flashlight, and the drain would empty the battery in about 4 months by my calculations. I measured 3 other 18650 flashlights from various manufacturers. All had electronic switches, and all were under 0.05 milliamps. The active heat controls in this light work well, and exactly as Nitecore advertises them. Instead of a timed mode to prevent the light from overheating like many O-lights have, this light makes small steps down when it gets too hot till it stabilizes. This is much like Army Tech's Wizard line. However, when I put this under cold water in the sink to cool it down while it was still on, I didn't see it brighten up like other brands do. During my 1-minute turbo test, this got to 109 degrees Fahrenheit while on turbo. That's warm, but still comfortable to hold in the hand. Here's my indoor shots for the Nitecore Concept 1. Due to the UI of this light, there's going to be a lot of editing in this segment. Moon, low, medium, high, turbo. Here is ultra low 1 lumen. Here is low mode. Here is medium mode. Here is high mode. And here is turbo. Here I've got the Nitecore Concept 1, and I've got it on moonlight mode, and I've got it pointed down at my feet basically. You can just see the light. It's 1 lumen. I've got the camera cranked up in ISO. Low projects out here pretty well, and again I've got the camera pretty sensitive. Bumping up to the next level. You can really start to see the beam now. At distance it's pretty smooth, it's pretty floody. And bumping up one more time, you really start to get a feel for how well this light throws. And this is turbo. You can really see it illuminates a lot of things. That tree is probably 40 or 50 feet in front of me. The end of that neighbor's yard is probably a good 60 or 70 feet. With my naked eye, I can see some trees that are a good 100 yards away easy. It's probably even a little further than that. And here is strobe, and you can see some rolling shutter. But to my eye, that's just fine. Nitecore recommends the TM28 battery for use in this light. It's a new protected button-top cell with a max continuous discharge of 10 amps. It's rated at 3100 milliamp hours and 11.47 watt hours. I was also able to use a high discharge flat top cell Sony VCT6 in this light without rattle, due to the raised button in the head and the strong spring in the tail cap. This is a welcome change over other Nitecore lights, as you usually have to use button top cells in most Nitecore products. This light also has a feature that shows you the voltage of the battery when you screw in the tail clip. So 4 volts is where my battery is currently at. Here's a photo of this light clipped onto the pocket of my shorts. As you can see, it rides heads up and unfortunately sticks up out of the pocket a decent amount. Now in these shorts, the pockets are low cut and it's not a huge deal. But in pants that have more of a straight cut pocket like jeans, it does stick up and becomes uncomfortable when sitting down. I like that this pocket clip uses 2 screws, which keeps it firmly in place, and I like the design of the pocket clip itself. You've got a hole here, which I can only guess is for the lanyard, because there's no other place on this light to attach it. The clip is held on with 2 screws that are T6 Torx size. I wish that Nitecore would rethink this pocket clip just a little bit. They could either come up with a new design that allows for a deeper carry or move it up here on this outreach bezel, and I think it'd be about perfect then. So here's the box itself that the Nitecore Concept 1 comes in. It's different from most other Nitecore boxes. It's a matte finish with a glossy logo there. It's just black with just yellow fonts. Normally Nitecore boxes are pretty loud, have a lot of black and yellow. This is more of a sleek, elegant design, which I think speaks to the person who might buy this light. On the back you have just a few important features, and that's it. This is how the light comes when you slide it out of the package. You've got the light in the left hand side here, and when you remove it, your accessories include the worldwide service. You get a little tiny catalog. You get the lanyard and a couple extra O-rings. The pouch itself is a Velcro front, and the light fits inside nicely. It is branded by Nitecore. It's a heavy nylon, and the back is Velcro as well with a heavy plastic D-ring. It's a nice holster for the light. My takeaway points are the pros. I think it's an attractive design, and I like the magnetic tail clip. This light has great output at 1800 lumens in turbo mode, and even the lower modes are pretty good too. I like that there's no color contrast in the LED too. I like that it has a good low lumen mode, 1 lumens, with quick access to both low and turbo. And I like that this light uses active temperature controls versus a timed controls we see on some lights. What I wish was different, the clip positioning isn't great for EDC because it sticks up too much in my opinion. The UI of this light has a learning curve, and it's a little bit clunky until you get used to it. The metal on-off button rattles a little bit, and I wish Nitecore would change that. And the parasitic drain of this light is higher than I think it should be for a light made in 2017. Using manual lockout is a must. Nitecore has a good physical design on its hands here, but it needs a little bit more revision, in my opinion, to be a great overall light. I like the instant access to turbo, and I think this would be a pretty good choice for someone who's walking their dog at night or just walking around your neighborhood or property. It would allow you to run at a lower mode, but have the one-click turbo there to spot something dangerous or just to ward off maybe an animal. The light has an attractive design, but I think the pocket clip isn't in a great place for everyday EDC in your front pants pocket. If you were going to use the holster, I think it'd work much better. So that's my review on the Nitecore Concept 1. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. I have more videos coming soon.